Welcome you all to today's webinar on Automation Anywhere bots. Before going into today's topics, let me introduce myself. My name is Ankit Kumar and I am currently working as a senior RPA developer. I'm also a consultant as a solution architect for a few of the clients in India and across the world. So I have around 9 years of IT experience. All right, so before even going to the topic, the main topic, I would like you to introduce to this page, that is Edureka Meetup page. So what is Edureka Meetup page? Edureka Meetup page is a page you can find all the upcoming webinars, right? So we have around 29,000. So it is reaching around 30,000 now. So even though it has started just a year ago, so we have around 30,000 members in this group. So in this meetup, so what do we get here? So you'll get all the upcoming events that Edureka is bringing up to you. So in the events page, again, you will get to know what all the events that are being conducted, right? So these events, right, and these webinars are either free or paid, okay, and all the things are online sessions conducted by professionals with over 10 years of relevant experience in their respective domains. So we have these kind of professionals who will be teaching you about what new in the market and what the thing you are looking for, right? And all the members, so suppose you are in this group, so I am currently a member to this group. So if you join this group, so you will be notified about all the upcoming webinars. So you will get an email with the upcoming webinar and you will get a button to join to the webinar, right? So, and Edureka, this meetup will help all the professionals as well as the freshly graduated people who are aspiring to come into industry. So they will so Edureka Meetup will help them in any way. Like we have a discussion forums where you can post the people who are aspiring to come into industry, they can post their queries and can be answered by the professionals who are already in their group, right? And for the professionals to stick to the market, like what are the new upcoming technologies we have and what is currently happening into this market, so all these things you will get to notified, right? And all the webinars, whatever the calendar we have. For an example, when I go to the event, so when I click on event, you have a calendar here, right? So we have a calendar. So when I click on calendar, so for the month of January, you have these many webinars. It's just coming up. Yeah, so these many webinars you have for the month of January, right? So all this to all these webinars, when you register to it, everything will be notified to you. Okay, and there is absolutely no prerequisites to attend any one of the webinar session. So you have no prerequisites. Just register to the event and you will be notified and you can just join to that webinar and enjoy what the instructor has to say. So what do we have for today? So this is our agenda for today, right? So what do we learn in this today's webinar? What is Automation Anywhere? What are bots? Automation Anywhere bots, Automation Anywhere products, and hands-on. Okay, we'll do a small demo on how Automation Anywhere works at the very end of today's webinar. So before even going to Automation Anywhere, what is the robotic process automation? So what do you understand by robotic process automation? So see, whatever the work that you do in your daily basis, right? So with respect to the business process that you follow to do achieve a task in your IT industry, right? So you do a lot of processes, you follow a lot of process, either manual or automation. So all this process make up a business, right? For an example, take me an example. Okay, so you go to office daily in the morning and you have a work to do, so which is where you are allocated, that is your project. And in your project, what you do, you daily you will open your email, download an attachment from the specific email which has a subject. Like suppose you are with a client Edureka, for an example, your client is Edureka, right? And you will search for the email with the subject Edureka and you will have a attachment there with the list of learners, right? You will download that particular Excel and you will have all the list of learners in that. You will take each and every learner from that particular Excel and you have a portal where you will input all the details of those learners and save in your system. So this is your daily work and you will get these kind of emails on daily basis, and the amount of volume that you have in your Excel is huge. For an example, you have thousands of lines. What you have to do, juggle between these two applications, right? Excel application, web application. Copy the data from Excel application and paste that onto that web application and save. So this is the process that you follow on daily basis, which is completely manual, Okay. And you have your colleague who is just sitting behind you, right? And he's learning, he's doing some kind of automation. Oh, okay, so he's doing some kind of automation and he's involved in latest technologies like RPA, data science, okay, AI, ML. So he's working on those kind of technologies, but you're still working with just the manual data entry work. Then you start thinking, so am I working on my career? Okay, I am associated with one of the biggest MNCs. Says I'm getting paid, that's fine, but am I working on my career? So am I enhancing my skills? No. What am I doing? Just I'm doing the data entry work. Yes, that is very important. That is very important for an organization that you're working for, because without that, it is you will not get paid, right? And your company will not get revenues. Yes, that is very important. But how should I come out of this manual work? Because no others are showing interest to work on this. So how should you get out? So there should be a replacement for you without any complaint. Okay, so if you ask a human to work on this you know um, mundane boring process, I would say, okay, if you ask a human to do it, oh, no, please, you do it. So I have other things to learn. Okay, I'm working on some challenging environment, I don't want to do this data entry work. So there is no replacement for you, right? So you don't get a exposure to the latest technologies. Then we need to have someone who is doing all your work without any complaints, and the one who does that job is your bots. So we call them as robots. Robots are the not the one you see in the movie, right? So who is physically running or walking on the floor. So those are not the robots that we are talking here. In RPA, robots are the software. It's a piece of software that does work for you in your laptop, in your computer, right? So that particular software, some particular software will be there in a tool. Okay, and the tool that provides the software is either an automation anywhere or UiPath or Blue Prism. And all these tools fall under an umbrella that is RPA. RPA is a technology, okay, which tells us how to automate the business processes that you are following in your company. Okay, so those are the principles. RPA has written some principles, and based on those principles, there are tools in the market. So there are so many tools, like I think around 20 plus tools we have in the market, RPA tools. And among those, there are top 3 tools that acquired most of your RPA market, that is Automation Anywhere, UiPath, and Blue Prism. And these 3, for an example, will provide you the software which actually does your automation, which actually does whatever the work you are doing manually, right? So that work will be done by your software, and that software, we call it as robots, right? So robots will do your work without any complaint. So this is what your RPA is. Clear? What is RPA? Which does your manual work, all the rule based. Yeah, so there are so many criteria. I'm not talking about criteria, okay, but whatever the manual work that you're doing, so your bots will take care of those without human intervention. Without you being intervened, it will complete your job, and you will be put on some challenging environment where you can upgrade your skills, right? So that is what the RPA is. Now we understand what is RPA, and we understand that Automation Anywhere is one of the tool, right? Automation Anywhere is one of the tool for RPA technology. So let's learn about Automation Anywhere now, right? So what is an Automation Anywhere? As I said, Automation Anywhere is an RPA tool, okay, which provides its user scalable, secure, and resilient services. What does that mean? Okay, so it will provide all its services, okay, to automate whatever the application you are using in your project. Either it might be a web project, sorry, either it might be a web application, or either it might be a desktop application, or any more. Okay, so those kind of applications you can work. So along with that, you can do the cognitive automation also. So what is a cognitive automation? So what is the difference between RPA and cognitive automation? So RPA stands for simple rule-based automation, that is step by step, a step-by-step process where a human intervention is not needed, rule-based process, right? Right. Whereas what is cognitive automation? So cognitive automation is kind of thinking automation or intelligent automation. Okay, so we have a bot called IQ bot in Automation Anywhere, which is an IQ. You know what is an IQ, right? So IQ is a general term, right? Intelligent quotient, I guess, right? So it is an intelligent bot which converts your structured data into unstructured data. Okay, so this is again a big concept, so I'm not going into that particular concept. So what am I trying to explain here is, so it can also do the rule based and repetitive task, okay, which is a step by step procedure. Along with that, it can also do an intelligent automation. Along with that, you have a workforce analytics. So what do you mean by workforce analytics? So what is a workforce? So when you as a human working in an industry or a project, right, you will be called as a workforce. Why? Because you are doing some work, right? You are doing some work, so you are called as a workforce. But whereas in RPA, you are not the one who are doing the actual work, it's your bots that are doing the work. So your bots are called as workforce. And what is analytics, right? So how did you perform? Okay, how many hours you worked? If your manager comes and asks you how many hours you worked, you'll say like, okay, I have worked this, and so you can just verbally say, okay, I've spent 2 hours on this, 3 hours on this, and finally you will submit your time in a timesheet. Right? It's a proof that okay, you have worked all your day on these activities. Then what is the proof for your bots workforce? So this is your proof. Analytics, workforce analytics, right? How many hours a particular bot has done? How did it perform, right? And what is the outcome of the process that it has processed? So those all things will come along with workforce analytics. Complete analysis of your bot will be given in workforce analytics. So Automation Anywhere is a combination of these three, that is robotic process automation, cognitive automation, and workforce analytics, right? So this is what you have with Automation Anywhere. Okay, so these are the Automation Anywhere things that you have. So this is what your Automation Anywhere is. Okay, now let's see what this slide is about to say us, right? So bots are entities which mimic human actions, whatever you do manually, right? So whatever manual thing that you do on your computer is now being taken care by robot. And the bots are the nickname. Okay, so we all will have a nickname, right? So likewise, we call robot as a bot, short name. Okay, so it just mimics your human actions. Okay, and whatever you do, it captures your actions and it reply backs. Okay, it will reply back whatever you have done, and these are used to perform simple and repetitive tasks. Okay, if there is a human intelligence is required in a particular business process, your RPA is not a candidate to automate that. It should be simple and repetitive task, repetitive rule based. Okay, so what do you mean by rule based? For an example, if at all you want to prepare a coffee or a tea, okay, so you have a step-by-step process, right? If you follow that process, your end product will be a coffee or a tea. Likewise, you should have a rule-based and repetitive process, rule-based process, and that rule-based process in a day, you have to perform many a times. So then that is called as a repetitive task. Okay, if you have these kind of work, these kind of processes in your project, then your RPA will be very helpful. Okay, so we have a unstructured data. If at all you have unstructured data, to convert that into structured data, you use IQbot. So this kind of cognitive automation, so they named it as an IQ, cognitive automation. So this kind of automation is your Automation Anywhere is the first company to bring these kind of automation. Okay, to convert the structured from unstructured, sorry, unstructured from structured. In UiPath and Blue Prism, so they are bringing it now. But your Automation Anywhere has brought it way back in 2016. Okay, so that's how your Automation Anywhere also can be a different from other competitors, right? So these are your bots. Okay, so bots are the one who actually does your work, and these bots are of two types. One is attended bot and another is unattended bots. Bots are of two types. See, the types I am talking about here is the types at RPA level. Okay, just think of RPA, not Automation Anywhere level. Okay, because why I'm saying this is at Automation Anywhere level you have few more types of bot. So those types are different and these types are different. This attended and unattended bots are the types of bot that you have in RPA, robotic process automation, right? So now what is this unattended bot? Okay, let me change the color. Okay, choose pencil color. Where is white? Okay, okay, let me use this. Okay, so what is your unattended bot? Unattended bots are the bots that executes without any human assistance. Those will be like a batch process. You just schedule them and they will run on their own. Okay, so no human intervention is required. All the work from start to end, if you want your bots to perform by itself, then those are called as unattended bots. So no one will attend it. It will do its work on its own. No need of attention. That is your unattended bot. Generally, these kind of bots will be a batch jobs that you are running, right? And this will be scheduled, the scheduled bots, so which will run at a given particular time when you scheduled, and whenever you come to your office, everything will be ready. Okay, you just have to continue from there. So those are your unattended bots. Then what are attended bots? Attended bots are the bots that work along with the user. Suppose you are a business user and on ad hoc basis, not the scheduled, right? On ad hoc basis, whenever you want to run some process, right? At your own time, at your own convenience, and many times a day, if at all you want to trigger a bot on your ad hoc requirement basis, you can just use your attended bots. They will work along with the users whole day. Okay, whenever you require some data, okay, from a particular application and you have a bot for that, okay, I'll just go and run that bot and you have your data. Simple. Likewise, you need 10 to 20 times per day. You will just, what you will do, instead of opening that particular portal manually, copying data from that particular portal to your Excel or somewhere, doing it 10 to 15 times, okay, rather than doing that, your bot will do it. And that is your attended bot. Attended bot will work along with the users on ad hoc basis, whereas unattended bot are kind of a batch jobs that works on the scheduled time, right? So that is your unattended bots. So then what do we have next? So as I said, so okay, so these are the differences, right? Attended bots handle tasks for individual user, as I said, right? So it works along with the user, so it works with individual user. Perfect. Automates back office process, rightly said, right? Batch jobs. So batch job refers to back office processes. Employee direct the bot to perform a task like on ad hoc basis, right? So they trigger the bot. Employees will trigger the bot, whereas bot complete process without any human intervention. Okay, so no need to trigger as well. So this employees has to trigger, okay, whereas this doesn't need any trigger because they are scheduled, right, without any human intervention, right? See, again, this one so predetermined schedule at a given time it will execute, right? So these are your differences of your attended and unattended bot. Okay, All right, so attended and unattended. So now the types of bots in AI. So as of now, we have discussed the types of bot in RPA, right? So now what are the types of bots in Automation Anywhere? So Automation Anywhere offers these three kind of bots: task bot, meta bot, IQ bot. So task bot and meta bot both will give a flexibility to automate your business process, which is rule based and repetitive. Okay, so then what is the difference between task and meta? Task bot is your superior bot, so which executes your rule based and repetitive task. Rule based and repetitive task it will execute. What is a metabot? Metabot is used for mainly an integration purpose. Okay, for an example, you have an application. So okay, so before even going to that, we do have a slide by looking at which you can clearly understand. Okay, as of now in this slide, you can see like we have three types of bots in Automation Anywhere, that is task bot, metabot, and IQ bot. So then what is a task bot? So here is what you can understand clearly. So as I said, it is a core of automation. This is the primary bot you have to look for. Without task bot, you don't have a scope for metabot or IQ bot. Without task bot, your metabot and IQ bot cannot exist. Okay, so that's why it's called as core of automation. Okay, it executes repetitive rule-based task, as I already said. Okay, it is very easier to build and resilient to change. Very easy. Okay, we just have a drag and drop options. We don't have to write any code. You don't need to have a high level programming knowledge, right? Or scripting knowledge you need to have. Just you need to know when and how to use the commands that you have in Automation Anywhere. Okay, and Edureka has prepared such a nice content for their learners to learn about these commands. Edureka has done an excellent job in that area. So you will get all the things about the commands that are used in Automation Anywhere, and they will, they will at the end of the course, they will make you a real automation developer. So that's how we have there, right? So next, execute multi-process with no errors. Okay, multi-step process. Even though if your process is a multi-step process, like you are trying to access multiple applications, right? You're not working on only single application, you're working on multiple applications, right? So without any issues, without any errors, it can automate those applications, right? This is your task bot. What is a metabot? So as I said, so it is used for integration. Okay, so the first thing you see here is an integration flow. Okay, so what I mean by integration flow, you are working with an application. Okay, you are working with an application, and that application is not letting you to do automation on that, because say few of the applications like an ERP application, SAP, you might know, right? It is one of the biggest application, biggest tool in ERP space, right? And that SAP application will not easily allow any third party application to automate on that. We need some kind of access, or we need some kind of permission from that particular SAP owner, and they will give you some kind of DLL. Okay, dynamic link library, which will link your third party tool like SAP and your Automation Anywhere, using which you can automate. Now that you have a DLL, right? Now you have a DLL, and if at all you have this DLL, right? You have this DLL, you cannot do the automation. Okay, you cannot do the automation with taskbot if you have a DLL. Okay, so again, as I said, so as an integration, you need a DLL, right? And if you have a DLL, you cannot directly automate using this DLL with your taskbot. So you need some kind of other capability which gives you a flexibility to automate in this kind of situation, and that is your metabot, mainly for integration purpose. Okay, and that integration is hereby DLL. So if at all you have this kind of requirement, you can go with metabots. Okay, so that is the integration. and it can also do all the automations like your metabots. It can work with all the UI components. Okay, either it might be a web application or it can be a desktop application. Okay, you can use it for front end as well as for the back end also. Okay, so as it says, like maximizes multi-level integration and automates the process along with the taskbot, right? So this is what it is. So that is your metabot. And what is IQ bot? So as I said, okay, so it is a cognitive bot which converts your unstructured data to the structured data. Okay, so this is what it says. Okay, so you can see IQ bot uses cognitive capabilities. So what are the cognitive capabilities your IQ bot has? The cognitive capabilities are the features from your artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, it uses the capabilities of artificial intelligence and machine learning to extract the information from semi or unstructured data. Okay, so again, semi and unstructured data is a huge concept. Okay, all right, and Edureka has covered a lot about that in their course content. Okay, right. So how does your IQ bot helps? So IQ bot also learn to detect patterns so that next time that pattern is encountered and bot do exactly what to do. Okay, so why it is called as IQ? Suppose as a machine learning capability. Okay, so when you do something, so it will create a pattern, and so what human is doing, so it will observe that and it will create its own pattern algorithms. It will create its own algorithms. It will observe, okay, in this case, so when this error has happened, human went and did this correction, so I have to save this kind of things. Okay, so that from next time if this kind of error occurs, I'll try to resolve it by myself. So that is what the machine learning is. Machine will learn by itself. By itself means it will observe what human is doing in some kind of situation, and it will store that particular pattern with it. And the same situation, if it encounters in the future, it will try to apply that solution which it has saved, right? So IQ bot is similar to that. So it detects the pattern, and the next time if it encounters the same thing, it will do what exactly the human did, right? So that is what the IQ bot is. Again, the IQ bot learns and grows smarter with every human validation. So as the human validation increases, right, it will learn more and more. Okay, right. So this kind of corrections human is making, perfect. So let me learn this. So that is what your IQ bot is. Okay. So any questions between the types of bots that you have in Automation Anywhere? Any questions with respect to bots that you have in Automation Anywhere? Metabot, Taskbot, and IQBot. All right. So now let's look into what are the products that you have for Automation Anywhere. What are the different products you have with Automation Anywhere, right? So these are the products. So you have a bot store, bot form, and bot insight, right? So bot store is similar to your Play Store that you have in your mobile. Okay. So what does it have? So it has all the apps. Okay. So whatever you want to install in your mobile. Suppose for an example, okay, you want to use Telegram. Suppose you would like to send a message to someone over the internet. The capabilities which the app which enables these capabilities, we have Telegram. And to send out a message, you will not altogether start creating an app then send a message, right? You will not do that. What you'll do, simply go to the Play Store and download that particular app and send out a message to whomever you want. Likewise, your bot store is, you have all the ready to use bots there. Okay, uh, the bots like the programming bots. Okay, so they are already there. You just have to go download and configure according to your system and execute them. All right, so that is what your bot store is. Yeah, here is where you have, it's like a marketplace. Okay, ready to use bots you have there for all the business process that are well known in the market. Whatever the business process that are well known in the market, so not all the process will be there. The process which are repeatedly used, okay, in the market, so those kind of bots you can find there in the marketplace. Okay, there you can just go download, which are for free, and few are we have a cost associated with some bots also, you have to pay them. Okay. Then what is the bot form? Okay, so bot form is industry's first RPA as a service platform. Okay, what is as a service platform? Your Automation Anywhere will provide you, okay, just like a cloud platform where you can just go and automate your things. So you need not to maintain any infrastructure, okay, any servers from your end. You can just use the services from Automation Anywhere. Every maintenance will be done by them. And this is your industry's first product, first RPA product, I would say, which gives us this flexibility. Okay, Automation Anywhere. And what is a bot inside? As I said in the very first slide, when we talked about Automation Anywhere, we have seen there RPA plus cognitive automation plus bot insight, right? So workforce analytics, we have seen there, right? So that workforce analytics is nothing but your bot insight, which will give you all the analytics about your bot's performance, right? So bot insight consists of embedded analytics. What do you mean by embedded analytics? Embedded analytics is the one which comes along with Automation Anywhere product. You need not to buy it separately. So if at all you look for any other RPA tool, so to do these kind of analytics, you have to buy a separate tool to do these kind of analytics. But Automation Anywhere has its own analytical tool, okay, which measures and predicts how bots and the business are performing. This is your bot insight, and these are the products of Automation Anywhere. We will do a short demo which will show you how your RPA or Automation Anywhere works. Okay, so now Automation Anywhere that we are talking about, right? So Automation Anywhere that we are talking about actually comes with few of the versions, that is Community Edition and Enterprise Edition. Okay. Actually, you know the differences between Community Edition and Enterprise Edition. Community Edition is completely free, whereas Enterprise Edition is paid version. Okay. If at all you work with, you look at any other institutions, right? So they will give you the Community Edition, okay, to work with to do the practice. Your Edureka is giving you completely enterprise version, complete enterprise version of your Automation Anywhere to practice your sessions, okay, which will give you the exact exposure if you go and work on your industry level projects. So when you are into the industry, you will find no difference in the tool. So generally we do have a differences between a Community Edition and the Enterprise Edition, right? And a lot of learners, a lot of aspirants have asked me many a times with respect to other tools, like how Enterprise Edition looks like. But here, so when you start learning the Automation Anywhere, you will get to see the enterprise level, okay, which is actually a paid version, but Edureka provides the paid version to the learners. Okay, and this is how your Automation Anywhere looks like. Okay, so this is how your Automation Anywhere looks like. So this is the portal. This is an IDE. This is an IDE using which you can create your automation, that is your bots. Okay, so now this is the interface. This is the IDE, how actually your Automation Anywhere looks like. Okay, and you have a new button here. When I click on new button, this is the IDE where you can actually create in this white space your programming, complete programming you can create. And you see here all the list of, one second. All right, so these are the list of command, guys. So these are the list of commands that are used to work with your business process, whatever the requirement that you have in the business process. Even the working with an third-party applications like databases, Excel, okay, anything for that matter. If at all you are working with a system things like services, right? And if at all you are working with a window operating system like files and folders, everything you can do using this command. Using these commands, you can automate your business process. Okay, so now let's do a small demo. Okay, so what I'll do is, suppose let's take an example. So, and this is one of the realistic example. Okay, so this is not just, I'm not saying for a demo purpose. Okay, we have these companies, right? news channels, right? So we have news channels, and in the news channels, for every hour, at least a hour or two, you will get a weather report, right? You will get a weather report where they will tell you whatever the cities you have, okay, whatever the main cities you have. From that main cities, they will give you the temperature, what currently temperature it is, right? So it's around 20 or 25, whatever the temperature for that city is. So they will tell you the temperature, and what how the news teller, sorry, no, how the news reader will tell those temperature, because they has to, they should have that data handy, right? So they should have that data handy. And how the data is given to them, so some from somewhere, from some application, this data has to be pulled. There will be some applications in their entire infrastructure which pulls out this data for a individual city, what is the temperature, right? And there will be an operator which does these things. So he will pull the data for every hour. He will pull the data and he will give that data to the news teller as a news reader, or we'll have some kind of application to which this data will be exposed, right, using API. So we're talking about APIs, right? So these data will be exposed and you will get a beautiful graphical representation on the screen, and reader will just see that and read. So these kind of things will generally happen. You have an operator whose work is just to pull that temperature data and feed to that API. Only this thing he is doing. Or if you don't have a beautiful graphical representation, right, and there is just a reader who is just sitting, and they have a piece of information in their hand and they are just reading it. So both the cases. But what actually is happening, the data has to be pulled, right? So there has to be pulled. So what actually, suppose we have a third-party application, but we don't have any third-party application, right? So to pull out the temperatures, what I'll do is I'll just go here, okay, and Google. I'll say, current temperature in Hyderabad, for an example. Okay, current temperature in Hyderabad. So this is what we have. So when we just type in that Google, and you will get this data, that is 28. So what I'll do as an operator, okay, so 28 is the data. Suppose you have a input file, something like this, for an example. Let me just go and okay, okay. So you have an Excel like this, okay, and these are the cities for which I need a temperature details, the current temperature. So I have went to Google, right? So I went to Google and typed current temperature in Hyderabad, so which given me the result as 28. So what I'll do, I'll just go and update 28 here. Done. So then which is the next city I have? Mumbai. Just go delete this Hyderabad and I'll say Mumbai. Enter. And again in Mumbai also you have 28. Okay, likewise, how many cities I have? So I have to search the same, okay, and read the data with my visual captures. I have to read this data and update that here, right? So this is the manual work I am doing. So how to automate this? Okay, how to automate this using Automation Anywhere is what we're gonna look into now. So we have just looked into how that manually done, okay, how that manually done, and our simple business case requirement. Okay, so now let's go and work with the Automation Anywhere. So what I'll do, so this is the place where I have a white space where I can create the things. So what I have to do first, the first thing is I have to open a browser, right? I have to open a browser to check the temperature details. So what do we have in Automation Anywhere? To open a browser, we have something called launch browser, launch website. From the list of command, what I have to do, just have to go there, launch website. I have to just find for that particular command, click that and drag wherever you want. You can drag that or you can just double click on it. So when you double click on it, you'll get like this. And what is the URL you are giving? So first thing what I'll do, I'll just click on this Google, right? And this is what the URL I'm trying to open. Done. I've just given https www.google.com. So launch website will ask you for the URL that you want to open. And where do you want to open? Either you want to open that in Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, whatever the browsers that are installed on your system, those lists will come here. So in my system, I just have these three: Microsoft Edge, Explorer, and Google Chrome. I'll just select the Google Chrome, save. Okay, so I have used this particular command. When I save it, okay, I can save this. I can save this file, the program, with the name. What I will say, temperature details. All right, so temperature details. So now I am opening this website. So let me just go and close this. Okay, so I do have just this website. So let me just go and run this. So what it should do, it should open me a web browser with Google URL. Okay, see now the bot is running, the runtime window at the bottom you have seen, bottom right, and this is what appeared in front of you. A browser has opened with Google URL. So after that, what you have to do, you have to enter some details here. That is current temperature. Okay, like that you have to type. But city, which city you want to get the information. Okay, so that city information you have in this particular Excel, right? Whatever the cities that are mentioned in this particular Excel, you have to take individual city, go to Google, search for the information, search for the temperature. Okay, I'll just, next thing what I have to do, I have to open Excel, right? I have to open the Excel and read the data from it. So this is what I have. To work with Excel, you have Excel package and all the related command there. And first thing is open spreadsheet. So Excel also called a spreadsheet, and this is the path I have to select. So from here, I'll go and select where my Excel is. Okay, I'll just give the path. RPA, automation, and if not, meaning and temperature. So I have selected it. And when you see my Excel, so I have headers also, right? So I do have headers. City and current temperature is the header. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this contain header. Done. So after that, so these are the commands that are used. Okay. So then I'll just click on this get all cells, right? So then to loop through each and every city, have to loop with each row in the Excel. All right. So now, because why I'm taking loop, because we have multiple cities here, and to work with each and every city, I have to use this loop. Okay. So once after taking the loop, what I have to do, I have to go here and enter the data here. That is current temperature in. I'll just type current temperature in, and whatever the city name you have here, I'll just give that. Okay, I'll just give that. So for that, I'll use one of the command in automation anywhere, that is object cloning. Okay, so I'll just use here. Select the window from which you want to, into which you want to enter the data. So I'll just select that window, click on capture and hold, go to the target. So here is where I would like to enter, right? So here is where I would like to enter the data. I'll just click here and it will give me all the details. Okay, and here I'll set the text, whatever the text you want. What I would like to search, current temperature in, I don't want to type Hyderabad. Okay, I would like to take it from that Excel. Okay, so whatever the Excel data you have in this particular Excel will be retrieved from this variable, Excel column variable. So I'll just type here, and which column this particular thing has, so it has in one column. Perfect. So set text is where I am searching for the data. So once after the data is written, here, that is a current temperature in Hyderabad. So this is what it will write. After that, what we have to do, we have to click on enter to display the result. So, and to hit enter, I'll use keystrokes, because keystrokes refers to your keyboard, right? So I'll select that particular Google Chrome and insert the enter keyword. So this is my enter keyword and just press that, save. So once after that, this result will be given to you. So this is where you have a result. Now you have to capture this result. You have to capture this result, right? So to capture this result, again, what I'll do, I'll use my command object loading, refresh this time. So this is what you have, current temperature, right? So you have to select the appropriate window. Okay, so remove this and capture. Go to this target where you have the current temperature. So this is what the temperature I would like to capture. All right. So these are the properties which will give you your data. All right, fine. Okay, done. So what I have to do, I have to get that particular text, right? So which one it has inner text. Done. So I'll just go here, HTML inner text, and I'll store that in a variable. So just I'll select a variable, that is prompt assignment, and I'll place that here. All right, so now the data will be there inside a variable, that is prompt assignment. So what I'll do, I'll just display that temperature for you. Okay, so I'll say current temperature in city, with city, that is Excel column 1 is prompt assignment, and close this box after 5 seconds, no problem. Okay, so I'll display the data. After that, what we have to do, I have to set the temperature in this Excel. To set the data to an Excel, we have something called set cell activity. Just drag and drop that set cell activity. So specific cell, which cell you have to do, you have to do to the B2. Okay, so and I'll just say B, and with cell value, so I'm using prompt assignment. Prompt assignment is where actual my data is. So why I'm not writing 2, because see, 2 is for Hyderabad, that is fine, B2, but for Mumbai it is B3. So dynamically it will change, and for that I'll use something called counter variable I'll use. So for that I'll create a variable using variable manager, and here I'll say counter, and default value I'll give it as 2. So now here it should go and set the value to the B2. After setting the value, you have to increment the counter value, and to increment the counter value, I'll use variable operation. Counter is equal to counter plus 1. All right, so just to give a breathing space for each and every application to respond, I'll give a delay. I'll just give a delay of 2 seconds so that it has to load completely, right? So here, all right, so here I'll give it to entering, done. I think this should do. So let's see if our thing works perfectly or if you have any issues. All right, so now let's run. So this is our program ready. See how easy it was. So we need not to write any piece of code, just we have to know which command to use at what situation. That's it. Okay, so now I'll run my piece of code that I have written. So when I click on run, so now your bot is getting executed. All right, see, it has opened your browser, opened Excel. It has written current temperature in Hyderabad. Perfect. See, it has displayed the message, current temperature in Hyderabad is 28. Perfect. Now see, it has gone to the next one, current temperature in Mumbai, and the current temperature in Mumbai is 28. Perfect. Then it has to go to the other city, that is Delhi. Perfect. Now in Delhi it is 17 degrees. So current temperature in Delhi is 17. So then it will go to the other city, that is Bengaluru. In Bengaluru it is 26. Perfect, it has captured 26. And current temperature in Chennai, it is 28. perfect. Then we have in Pune, it's 23, and it says current temperature in Pune is 23, and in Kolkata it says current temperature in Kolkata is 28, and it has to stop because we have till Kolkata. Done. My execution is completed. Now let me go and check if the data has been updated in the Excel or not. See how beautifully the data is updated in my Excel also. So in Hyderabad, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata it is 28, whereas Delhi, we remember, it is 17 degrees, and in Pune it was 23, and in Bangalore it was 26. So likewise, you can execute, okay, you can do the manual work that you are following, whatever the manual work that you are doing in your business process, you can simply automate that. And also to automate, you need not to take any extra efforts or a lot of efforts to automate. It's just a simple drag and drop. So there are around 600 commands that you have here. Okay, you have to know with respect to the requirement which command to use. So thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.